Hello, YouTube. This is Insane Monster, and this will be part 4 of What If Asta was the son of Igneel. As for where we left off last, Asta was just returning with Noelle and Charmy to the Black Bull's hideout from the attack on the Clover Kingdom's capital. Though he was just mentally, physically, and just all around done with today. To the point where he just passed out on his bed. Like, and it was the kind of sleep where he slept the entire night, the entirety of the following day, and then the next oncoming night until he finally woke up. When he finally got up to go get something to eat because he is starving, the Black Bulls say, well, looks like he isn't dying after all. Tommy was told Asta, good. I was afraid we would have to get Meliona here, and I wouldn't want to make that call or be here if we ended up having to do that. Asta was confused, saying, what are you talking about? Magna just comes up to him and says, dude, you were out for like 2 days at least, or something. Hey, man. Which surprised Asta, like, seriously? Jeez. And Charmy just started stuffing them full of food. So, uh, this is comes the part where Finral's getting some members to go along with the mixture. Well, overhears this, though she overhears this while she's actually talking to Mimosa on that little magic device, communication device. They both hear, and Mimosa's like, wait, what? A mixture of all things? And we flip to Mimosa where, well, there's some thorny vines starting to grow up from behind her with the look where around her eyes is all kind of darkened while she's still smiling, like the she's angry but she ain't showing it kind of smile. So they both end up getting there to look at the see the mixture where now not only Noelle but Mimosa are being waitresses there. Things go somewhat similar, though Asta doesn't really point out the things about scars and such. And Finral and Luck go off talking to the other two girls, leaving Asta and Rebecca. And they talked about some things that led to their family, agreeing that it's hard to sleep when when they're not close by, or if they're not in like a pile. Which, in Asta's case, in this what if, is pretty different considering he more or less slept in a pile of a lion pride. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look in the previous what if of part 0, I believe. Yeah. Now, this is where the drunk guy comes in. Though Asta takes a different approach for this, thinking, "Jeez, this guy is gonna act like this when he's drunk. Then maybe he should learn a lesson." Asta takes him and offers him a drink, quietly whispering to him, saying that he'll give him 10 gold coins for his drinks, leading him to the bar, placing his coin pouch on the counter with the big fat drunk guy saying, "Bartender, 10 gold pieces worth of alcohol." And Asta just slyly walks away along with his money pouch. When he sat down, Rebecca said, "You're paying for him to drink more?" Asta just smirks, saying, "Not really," and pulls out his coin bag, saying, "I only said I could pay for it. Never said I was going to. Maybe washing dishes for this place to pay off his tab will teach him some humility and restraint when drinking." Which Rebecca just kind of smirks and laughs a bit. They go and leave, and Rebecca asks if there is anybody that she particularly likes. He says he isn't really sure. He isn't. He didn't grow up near Sister Lily and doesn't have that thing about it. But he goes on saying that he's not. Even if he had thought about that in the past, he wasn't sure what was going to happen. He has some things about him that tend to cause some confusion and or complications. Well, and Noel hear that, though in Asta's mind, this is more of a reason of recent discoveries of him being the son of a dragon and an elf. Though people in the Clover Kingdom just know him as being the son of Leona. So, to Mimosa and Noel, they're thinking, what exactly is he talking about? Maybe Mimosa states maybe he's talking about maybe his father's side. I mean, we know what his mother's side is like, and we know that his father was a dragon, but I guess that would explain why he's hesitant to get into some form of relationship, at least. Which mentally they're thinking, what are we talking about? What are we saying? And just panicking internally while blushing. Though that scene go by somewhat quick. And Asta ends up going over to meet Rebecca's family since he offered to let them meet Asta. They do get along, and Nero does uh, come along, and Mimosa told Noel to fill her in if something else happens, which he did. So now they're just in the alleys watching Asta play with the kids. And they're also there in the part where they're eating. Asta even shows off some of his fire dragon magics, actually breathing fire to cook some of the meat a little bit more, which just kind of makes all of Rebecca's siblings go wide eyes. But Rebecca's siblings still kind of mess with her about getting with Asta, which she just is freaking out a little bit from it, like in canon. And she does. I mean, Asta still meets Marie, Ghost's little sister, and Ghost still tries to kill him. Which then Marie says that she's going to marry Asta, which just crushes his soul to the point where they just animated him turning into stone. Though sister, though the sister there did talk to Asta, and hearing his name, she said, "Do you tell me? Uh, I'm not familiar with you." Asta looks at her, saying, "What do you mean?" "Well, I used to serve and train members of the Vermilion household in fire magic before I joined the cloth. Asta surprised by this and says, well, Melly Leona is actually my mom, which you just hear go wide eyes with the sound of glass breaking in the background, with her just in her mind screaming, what? How? Because, well, it's Melly Leona. People are legit terrified of that woman. And she just, she snaps out of it and says, oh, well, I see she raised a fine young man, and then just kind of escorted the kids back to the orphanage, with her thinking, dear God, it's been longer than I thought, hasn't it, since I've talked to her. Though he does mention about Flagoleon and his situation, which they are kind of worried about him, considering both of their histories with him. As for he does still spend the night, and Mimosa and Noel are stuck in the freezing cold now. But it's only freezing cold due to the fact of the snow mage. It wasn't Asta just ends up being attacked by ghosts like in canon, with him thinking, Ghost, what the hell, man? The hell are you doing? And this is where Ghost says that I'm gonna kill you. No one is going to touch Marie, let alone you. Which you just see murder written all over his face. They Asta jumps out of the window, getting away from Gordon so he doesn't vaporize the house. And Ghost, I mean, no, not Gordon, sorry. Ghost, sorry. Ghost follows him, and he tries to calm him down while he recognizes that it's snowing when it's not the season, when it's not even winter or fall. He tries to calm him down until he had enough and just smacked him nice and good with Goat saying, you'll pay for that. And Asa yelling, look around you. And he sees that it's snowing, and recognizing traces of magic in the snow, which is where we start hearing parents and the nun from the church looking for the kids. So we got Asta and Mimosa and the well come out, which Asta's like, "What the hell are you doing here?" And they just don't know how to answer. So he's like, "Look, it doesn't matter. You need to call for reinforcements. We'll go track down the kids." Since Asta's half dragon, he has incredible sense of smell, and with the snow magic cooling the air, the particles of the kid's scents are kind of more stuck in the air, making it a little bit easier for him to go get them. But Ghost just hops on his broom and goes straight for the mirror that he gave Marie that he's tracking. This the sister says, "Get back here and wait for us." Foster just says, "Well, we don't have time," so he picks up the nun and sprouts his wings, which does surprise some of the townspeople there, as well as Rebecca. As he says before he leaves, "Don't worry, we're going to get them back," and flies off with the sister in tow. He remarks that I've never seen this type of transformation magic. Asta replies with, No, no, I use fire." And she's like, "Then what about the wings?" "Well, it's fire dragon magic." Which she's just like, "Oh, uh, okay." Jeez, Melly. And in her mind, she's thinking, "Jeez, Melly, Leona, who's the father of this kid? His magical power is insane. I mean, that's a given he's your kid, but still." They get there and they see Marco, the Rebecca's younger brother. Then he's crying, being all banged up. The sister uses her candle magic before Austin is able to use his flame healing magic. And Austin still gives him his robe, saying to be brave and wait there. And they hurry up and get there. When they get there, they were able to see like Ghost just stomp it. Ghost is there and he grabs his sister and gets out of there. And the mud magic mage uses that eyeglass to check their magic. You can see that the nun has a good bit of it, a decent amount of magic, but when he gets to Asta, what he sees is a gigantic dragon, basically igneel, in magic form, around and behind, around, above, hanging over Asta with his wings flared. He freaks out, saying, "What are you?" as his little magic scanning monocle just bursts. "You're a monster." Asta pulls out his sword, saying, "I've had enough of this. Take these kids, steal their magic. Oh, you're gonna pay." And the snow magic kid goes ahead and uses his snow friend spell on his brother's orders, which Asta just annihilates with a fire dragon roar, and then just blitzes towards the mage and slams him with the flat of his black flame demon slayer sword, flinging him right into the wall. As for the snow mage, he actually doesn't. He has, as a half dragon, he has heightened senses for when people mean harm. But when he got to the snow magic mage, he just felt he didn't feel any hostility coming from him, which is weird coming from an enemy. But he felt something else. Felt like this kid was just scared and lonely. With the mud magic maze yelling at him, saying, "Do something or else I'm just gonna leave you behind." Asta got pissed and went back to give him a nice gut punch, telling him, "Stay quiet." He looked back at the snow mage just sitting there in fear and thinking, "I get it. He, this, this fat bastard must have made it to where he made this guy think if he didn't do what he said, then he'd just leave and he'd be all alone." Just great. Now what? Though while Asta was over at the snow mage, the fat guy made a mud man to send out a signal. And lo and behold, Sally pops up, saying, "Oh, it's Asta." She became really excited to have a second chance of capturing him for her experiments. Though the mud magic maid still just kind of blattered on, say, and just annoying Sally, which is where she injected him with the weird serum from the dark magic item, turning him into a mud monster. Instantly, Asta told the sister to get the kids out of here now and to take that snow guy with them. She says, "Wait, what?" Asta just said, "I'll explain later, just trust me." She says, "Okay," and uses her magic to make that cat spell. If I forgot to mention it, Asta did free them with his anti magic sword and all that. But as for the dealing with the mud mage, he opens his grimoire saying, "Fire Dragon Creation Magic, Draconic Armored Guard," and which creates basically night a creation spell making 5 knights that have basically flame draconic armor and weapons. Though they're just flame magic constructs. He uses them combined with his sword and wings to take care of the mud mage and as well as deal with Sally. He sent the 5 little, I guess you call them pawns or knights, flame knight things he summoned to to keep the mud monster busy while he held off Sally. They were able to get the kids out of there, and Ghost came back because his sister yelled at him to go do so. Asta gives a little speech and not leaving their squad members behind, and to act, and if he needs help, they actually give it to him. Though this was after Ghost's failed attempts to attack Sally and the mud monster that just kept regenerating, until he finally gave in and used his magic item that replaced his eye to make numerous clones of Asta, using his anti-magic swords to completely demolish the mud monster. Though, now Asta can deal with Sally properly, and does a fire dragon roar, which she uses her sticky salamander as a decoy to try to gain some distance. But Asta noticed that pretty easily and blitzed towards her, giving her a fire dragon iron fist. So when that happened, he a bright after that happened, a bright light began to shine, blinding them from seeing. But Asta had a bad feeling, like he felt like a large murderous intent, and used a spell called Fire Dragon Creation Magic Draconic Shield, which basically just makes a dragon shield protecting them. It was able to stop the light magic, and this was licked. Though it wasn't the well, if you not caught up with the anime for who that really was, we're just gonna call him licked for now, as well as the spatial mage that tagged along. So the sister didn't get injured, and Ghost didn't either. Though Lick was mad. Though the moment he saw Asta, he recognized him. and sent a little message with Sally. They were getting ready to fight, which is where Finral and Captain Yami show up after the reinforcements were called and went and all that. Luck. I mean, yeah, Finral. Sorry, a little out of it today, but Finral made a portal to get Ghost and the nun back to the village along with all the other kids on the outside of the cave, considering both Ghost and the nun were running low on magic. Obviously, Yami calls dibs on the light magic mage and tells Asta to deal with the spatial magic one. Give When he sees him doing his thing, protecting him from the light attacks, though Lick was going for lethal attacks on Yami, while more or less a non lethal attack on Asta. Enough damage him a bit, to try to damage him a bit without killing him. He wanted to bring him back with him. If he Now, as As for why he didn't get a chance to attack Finral, he wanted more of the humans to just go away so that he and the spatial magic user could deal with Yami and Asta. So similar thing happens in canon with Yami fighting Licht, though Asta did give Yami a shadow dragon lacrima, but it combined with his dark magic to create a dragon slayer. He does his dark slashes as well as catching him licked off guard with a dark dragon roar. Lick's pretty angry, thinking he was given a dragon lacrima. Damn it, this is going to be more annoying than I thought. As for Asta, Yami still gives him the tip about the key, which he does hold back a bit to try to get it down right. Though he isn't stupid and armors up the scales around his bodies without forming his wings. And does a similar thing in canon, though instead of a normal punch to the face, it's a fire dragon iron fist to the face, which Lick just snaps and uses the light whip to collapse the building on the roof of the cave on top of them, effectively burying them in rocks. But they burst out of that pretty easily. And at this time, Licht is charging up a powerful attack for so that he can annihilate them, which is about where Finral and Ghost come back, with Ghost being charged up from borrowed mana from the others, and uses his magic to reflect the spell back at them, at Licht. Once Licht is on the ground, they go over to go restrain him to bring him back to the capital. But this is where the third eye come in and stop them. Fauna obviously uses her magic to start to heal Licht. As for Raya, he goes straight for Yami, getting his dark slash, and Veto goes for Asta. Though with Asta armored up in his scales, he has a good physical boost to match Beto's. But Beto looks at him and says, my, you did grow strong, didn't you? Asta looked at him, thinking, who the hell are you? Beto pulls back, and so does Raya, to prepare to go after them in unison with Fauna, who's just staring at Asta. Though she says, wait a minute, I just need to confirm it for myself. And Salamander on her shoulder fires a powerful fire breath, with Asta jumps in front of Yami, completely eating it. Which we go back to Fauna, seeing that she's starting to cry, saying, it is him. He is alive and well. And this is where the captains burst in. Yami's pretty tired and a little beat up. He was able to knock the attacks that would hit his vitals from that were coming from Licked, but he still got pretty cut up. It got even worse when he showed that he had dragon magic, which made him it made him pissed and fight even harder. So he said he's gonna sit this one out while he waits for his wounds to stop bleeding. The same kind of matchups happen, but this time Asta jumps in front of uh the Silver Eagle Captain Nozel, with him saying, "What are you doing?" Asta just looks back, saying, "She's burning away your magic with ease. Just help out with one of the others." Nozel grits his teeth, thinking, "Damn it!" But he understands that tactically, it's the smarter move to send the guy who eats fire to restore his mana to fight the flame mage. Asta goes in for a frontal assault, where Fauna lets him does so, but uses some flame magic for movement to keep dodging while potentially talking. It really is you. Also, just looking at her while she's saying it. Wait, what do you mean it's me? Who are you? She smiles a bit, saying, that's right. You wouldn't remember. You were just young. You were just so small. And I see your father's spell is isn't fully this isn't fully undone. He looks at her, saying, "Father, what are you talking about?" She says, "Don't worry. I know you got the note. It was with the it was with the books." With his eyes just widen, saying, he backs off, which the others are too preoccupied to recognize. But Yami sees this and says, "No, no, no. You, you're supposed to be dead. Plus, you're human. I, what's going?" He's confused, frustrated. He doesn't understand. It's okay, she says as she continues stating that you're going to come with us and we're going to do what's necessary. He looks at her saying, necessary? Kidnapping children, stealing their magic, you call that necessary? She looks at him and says, it's what was done to us. Asta doesn't know much. He only knows from the letter that his parents were attacked and they sent him away to be safe. He had no idea about what happened with their magic. He says, I don't get it. What are you talking about? And no, you're not my mom. He was an elf, though he's saying it quietly enough where no one else on can hear him. Though he begins to attack again after that. She continues to evade, saying, yes, I suppose we didn't fill in everything about that, but you're better than what these people deserve to be in the presence of. You are more. He backs off, and Nozell actually heard that slight part, saying, and fires an attack at her, saying, what are you talking about? He backs off, saying, you don't deserve to be in the presence of the son of the Dragon King. Which everybody, all the Magic Knights are just shocked. And us is going like, ah, oh, crap, not, no, 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 no. Nozell just looks at him thinking, Dragon King? With Fauna continuing saying, yes, Asta, son of the Fire Dragon King Igneel. Though she knows to restrain herself about his real mom, which is her in when she was an elf. If she let that slip, then they try to they would slap an execution their sentence on him really fast, considering the elves in Clover Kingdom's past history. Though it was a bit too late at this point, the angle the that the everybody was arranged in allowed Veto and Raya to jump back and blitz toward Asta, and Licht even went right for him from above when from being healed enough from Fauna's Phoenix recovery robe, and Fauna also blitzed. Asta's still somewhat shocked as she just revealed that about him out of the blue, thinking that if this is his mom, then why is she human when she's supposed to be an elf? Which gives them enough time to pin him to the ground. And Raya begins using a spatial magic spell he copied, saying, we'll be taking the boy. He doesn't belong with you after all. Asta struggles, but Veto's using his bear claws to pin him down. Though Raya looks down and sees that the Demon Slayer sword is gone. He yells, wait, where's the Demon Slayer sword? He looks up and sees it up in the air. Asta was able to recognize the attack just at the just right before they tackled him, and was able to get the sword tossed in the air. It went right to the ground, stabbing the spatial magic spell, which gave Asta a chance to power up his flames, forcing the midnight sun to back off, with them thinking, damn it. Quick thinking, isn't he? Fauna went right towards him, thinking, no, no, he's coming with us. But Veto grabs her, saying, sorry, but I can sense other magics coming. If we don't leave now, there's gonna be some trouble. Fauna's trying to break free, trying to get to Asta, but Raya and Lick group up with Veto restraining Fauna. At this point, Raya uses the spatial magic again to try to get out of there, which they were successful in doing. And at this time, Yami has finally stopped bleeding, and everybody's just looking at Asta thinking, son of the fire dragon? Leona, what the hell? Though in their back of their minds they were thinking without fully consciously thinking that if anybody was going to have a kid with a dragon, let alone the fire dragon king, it was probably going to be Leona. So they get back with all the kids. Asta gets his back bull robe back from Marco, and then Rebecca gives him a kiss on the cheek as thanks, where Mimosa and Noelle are just kind of freaking out, which is where they hear, "Well, aren't you? Well, aren't you something, Asta?" And he looked over, seeing Melly Leona tied up with work, so I got tied up with some stuff, so it took me a while to get here. But but of course, the moment I get here, everything's all settled. Which Nozel confronts her, asking, "You had a child with a fire dragon king?" Uh, Meliona takes a moment to think and just says, "Wait, what? Where did you hear that?" And Nozel just states, "He heard it from the enemy. They tried to kidnap him because he was the Fire Dragon King's son. I thought that all the dragons were extinct, though this does answer a few questions." Which Meliona just kind of glares at him, and in the back of his mind, he's saying, "Oh, crap," and he just instantly walks away. And everybody else that knows Meliona just thinking, at least he knows when to back out. Which also does actually state, yeah, I am actually half dragon. Which some of them already did know. No, though the ones that didn't, their jaws just dropped to the frickin' floor. Though they do know some things now about their enemy. One, that they have the power eye of the midnight sun, and two, Austin knows that woman that shares his mother's name also seems to share her memories. He's not sure what's going on, but he's sure as hell is gonna find out. As for everything else, we'll stop here. So this was part 4 of What If Asta Was the Son of Igneel. Thank you. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember to lend your support and ring the bell for notifications. And join us on Discord for multiple things, whether it be just casual talk, uh, idea shooting for what if ideas, or for updates I release. And that's be it. See ya.